all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect. So in this video, we're going to understand how to notify team on Google Chat on Cognito Forms submission. So do you also use Cognito Forms for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So with it, I'm doing the same. I manage an event management company and we collect the details of our potential customers with the help of Cognito Forms. So now what I want is that as soon as a new submission is made in my Cognito Forms, which is as soon as we receive a new inquiry from a potential customer, I want to automatically notify my team on Google Chat that we have received a new inquiry so that we can look into it. So to do this, we're going to create a connection between Cognito Forms and Google Chat. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen.
Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video, we're going to understand how to notify team on Google Chat on Cognito Forms submission. So as you know that I manage an event management company and we use Cognito Form to capture the inquiries from potential clients. So to ensure that our team responds swiftly, we want to set up an automation that instantly sends a notification to our Google Chat space whenever a new form is submitted. Something like this. The real-time alert provides our team with the client details and the preferences, allowing us to engage more promptly and efficiently. By staying responses, we enhance client satisfaction and increase our chances of converting inquiries into bookings, making our operation more effective and client focused. So as you know that Google Chat and Cognito Form doesn't have any native connection. So in order to connect both of these applications, we're going to use Pabbly Connect. As I told you, it is an amazing automation software. So yes, to do all of this, we have simply opened the landing page of Pabbly by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we're going to get two options. One is sign in and the other one is sign up for free. So if you're a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of hours free every month to explore the application. But over here, I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in. And as soon as we're going to click on sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here, you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we're going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect's account. And as soon as we're going to click on access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we're going to click on this button which is create workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here, I want to save the workflow in this folder which is automations. So you must be wondering where all of these are folders coming from. So over here on my dashboard, you can see multiple folders which I have already created, and I've created these folders to save my workflows in. If you wish to learn how to create a new folder or a subfolder, you can click on this hyperlink given right over here which says learn more. And now it is asking me for the workflow name. So I want the workflow name to be how to notify team on Google Chat on Cognito Forms submission. Cognito Forms to Google Chat, and then we're going to click on create. And as soon as we're going to click on create, it is opening the most important window for our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. And by this you can finally understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger. And in order to start with our automation, we have to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm going to select it as Cognito Forms because as you know that I want to create this automation for this form, that as soon as this form is submitted, I want to notify my team on Google Chat about the new event inquiry received. So that's why for the trigger application, we're going to select it as Cognito Forms. And as you can see the same, so we're going to select it. And now it is asking me for the trigger event. So basically trigger event is the event on which the workflow will start. So over here what I want is that as soon as a new entry is received from the form, my workflow should be triggered or started. And as soon as we're going to select the trigger event, it is giving me a webhook URL and few steps. So what we have to do is first we're going to copy this webhook URL and then we're going to follow these steps in order to create a connection between our Cognito Forms and our Pabbly's workflow. So it is saying log into your Cognito Forms account. In your form submission setting, check the box next to the post JSON data to a website. So in order to do this, I'm going to open my Cognito Forms, and as you can see that this is the dashboard of my Cognito Forms, and over here are all the forms I have created. So I want to create this automation only for a particular form, which is this event inquiry form. So I'm going to open this form right from here, And now after opening this form, what we have to look is, we have to look for this, which is post JSON data to a website. So we have to switch this on right from here. And as soon as you're going to switch this on, it is saying submit endpoint. So over here you can see that in the help text it is saying, now copy and paste the above webhook URL under the submit entry endpoint field. So yes, we're going to do the same. I'm going to copy this URL and then we're going to paste it right over here under submit entry endpoint. And after pasting this, we're going to click on save. And as soon as we're going to click on save right over here, yes, you can see saved. So we have successfully added this webhook URL. And now after adding this webhook URL, we have successfully connected our Cognito Forms account with our Pabbly's workflow. But over here you can see that it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So what it is saying that we have to make an entry in our Cognito Forms which I have recently connected with our workflow so that Pabbly can capture the response for the same. So okay, we are going to do this. I'm going to open my form again. First we're going to publish this form. Okay, so we're going to go on publish right from here, and after coming on publish, you can see that over here is the shareable link of my form which I'm going to share with all my leads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this link right from here, and as I was going to open this link, you can see that this is my form. So I'm going to fill in the details of this form, like we are going to enter the dummy details or the test details. Okay, so let's, for the name we're going to keep it as demo, last name we're going to keep it as user, for the email we're going to keep it as demo@pabblytudes.com. over here for the event type I'm going to keep it as, let's suppose, wedding. For the mobile number I'm going to keep it as this. It is saying catering / event date. Okay, so I'm going to select the date as, let's suppose that I'm going to select it as 2nd of January, and then we're going to move on forward. It is saying expected number of guests, so I'm going to select it as 101 to 200. It is saying additional services needed, so I'm going to select it as catering. And after entering all of these details, we're going to click on submit, and as soon as we're going to click on submit right over here, inquiry form, thank you for filling out the form, your response has been recorded. So as you can see that we have successfully submitted this form, and with this we have successfully did the test submission. And now what has happened is that Cognito Form has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and check that if Pabbly has captured the response for the same or not. So I'm going to open my workflow, and yes, you can see Pabbly has captured response A. Over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response of the same submission. So yes, you can see all the details which we entered. You can see the name, you can see the mobile number. Over here you can see the form name, you can see number of guests. Over here you can see the catering date, event type which we entered. So now after receiving all of these details, we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now what will happen is that as soon as a new entry is made in my Cognito Forms, automatically Pabbly is going to capture the response and trigger this workflow. And after setting up our trigger step, what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards our action step. So what was our target? Our target was that as soon as a new form is submitted in my Cognito Forms, I wanted to notify my team on Google Chat about the inquiry received, right? So for my action application, we have to select Google Chat right over here because I want to notify my team on Google Chat. So for that, I'm going to look for Google Chat, and as you can see the same, so we're going to select it. And now for the action event, we're going to select it as create message, and then we're going to click on connect. And as soon as we're going to click on connect, it is asking me for the chat webhook URL. So to get this, it is saying enter your chat room webhook URL here. You'll able to register for the webhook URL if you have a Google Workspace account. So yes, we have all of this, and we're going to get this chat webhook URL by clicking on this button which says learn more. And as soon as we're going to click on learn more right over here, we are going to get all these steps in order to get the chat webhook URL. So yes, we're going to follow all of these steps, and it is saying open your Google Chat in your web browser. So here you can see that this is my Google Chat, and this is the space I want to create this automation for, or I want to send the messages in. So now what we have to do is we have to go on this title which is events inquiries. Okay, for me it is this, for you it can be something else too. And after opening this, we have to go on this apps and integrations. So we have to go on this. So I'm going to go on this, and as you can see apps and webhooks, so we have to go on this webhooks. And as you can see that I've already added a webhook right over here previously, but we're going to add a new. For that, we're going to click on add webhooks right over here, and now it is asking me for the name. So let's suppose that I'm going to keep the name of this webhook as Cognito Forms, and after entering this, it is asking me for the avatar URL. So it is asking me for the URL of the avatar. So you can enter the avatar URL right over here if you want to add an avatar, but I don't wish to add, so directly I'm going to click on save. And as soon as I'm going to click on save, yes, you can see webhook created. Over here you can see the webhook which we created right now, and over here is that webhook URL which we needed. So we're going to go on this three dots, and then we're going to copy this webhook URL, and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow under start webhook URL. Okay, so now after pasting this, it is asking me for the message. So I want the message to be this, which says new event inquiry received, and over here you can see the details. Let's review this inquiry and follow up promptly to ensure seamless seamless experience of our potential client. And as you can see that we're going to enter the details right over here one by one, but we are not going to enter it manually, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping, right? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Cognito Forms as our trigger application. So we're going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So over here I'm going to give you an example that it is asking me for the name, right? So let's suppose that we're going to enter the name right over here like this manually by typing it. Then this will not change with every new response received because this is a static information and I've entered it manually by typing. But if we are going to map this from the previous response, suppose I'm going to look for name in my previous response, and as you can see the name which is demo user. So let's suppose that we're going to map this from the previous response, then this will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. Same we're going to do with the email too. I'm going to look for email in the previous response, and as you can see the email which is demo@pabblytunes.com. So we're going to map it. We're going to move on forward. You're going to map the mobile number too. I'm going to look for mobile number, and as you can see the same, so we're going to map it. It is asking for the event type, so yes, we're going to map this too. I'm going to look for it, and as you can see weddings, we're going to map it like this only. We're going to map all of these details. We are going to look for the details, and as you can see all the details, we're going to map all of these details one by one. So over here it is saying expected number of guests, so I'm going to look for number right over here, and as you can see expected number of guests, we're going to map it. It is saying additional services needed, so we're going to map that too. We are going to look for it, and as you can see the same, so we're going to map it. And after mapping all of these details, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this button which says save and send test request, because upon mapping this we have successfully completed our message. And as soon as we're going to click on save and send test request, yes, you can see that we have received a positive response that we have successfully sent a message in our Google chat space with these same details. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Google chat and check for the message received. So I'm going to open my Google chats. We're going to go back, and yes, you can see a new message, new event inquiry received. Over here you can see the name, the email, the mobile number, event type, catering date. Over here you can see the expected number of guests, additional service needed. And as soon as we're going to receive this, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. But I'll just test this workflow once, and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open my form again. We're going to do another test submission, okay, with the new details, and we're going to check that if our workflow is running in real time or not. So I'm going to enter the new details. For the name, I'm going to keep it as test, last name as user, email as testuser@pabblytunes.com. For the event type, let's suppose we're going to select it as corporate event, okay. For the mobile number, I'm going to keep it as this. For the event/catering date, I'm going to select it as, let's suppose we're going to select it as 7th of December, okay. And now for the expected number of guests, we're going to select it as 1 to 50. Additional services needed, so let's suppose that I'm going to select it as entertainment. And after entering all of this, we're going to click on submit. And as soon as we're going to click on submit, yes, you can see event inquiry form. Thank you for filling out the form. Your response has been recorded. So yes, with this we have successfully submitted this form. And now what has happened is that Cognito Form has captured the details of our test submission and sent it to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further sent a Google chat message, okay. So I'm going to open my Google chat and check that if a new message has been received in my space or not. And this time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. I'll directly open my Google chat right from here, and yes, you can see a new message which says new inquiry received. You can see all the new details which we entered, the same name, email, mobile number, and all the new details which we entered right now in our test submission. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and I'll just summarize this workflow for you once. So for the trigger application, we selected Cognito Forms. For the trigger event, we selected new entry. For the action application, we selected Google Chat Hangout, and then for the action event, we selected create message, because I wanted that as soon as a new form is submitted or a new entry is made in my Cognito Forms, automatically my team on Google Chat should be notified about the same inquiry received. And yes, we were successful with our workflow too. Over here you can see the two messages I sent to my Google Chat space during this video with the help of my workflow. So yes, this real-time alert provides our team with the client details, preferences, allowing us to engage more promptly and efficiently. By staying responsive, we enhance client satisfaction and increase our chances of converting inquiries into bookings, making our operations more effective and client focused. So yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.